Helps when I'm not muted. How's it going, everybody? It's Fandom Empire live, September 21st, 2021. Halloween Kills is coming. It's right around the corner. It is 3 weeks and 2 days from tonight. We'll all be sitting in a movie theater, or three weeks and 3 days for those of you that are going to watch it on Toronto Freddy's personal favorite, Halloween Kills on Peacock. Big thank you to Freddie for the graphic once again. But tonight is Fandom Empire Live, and well, Kieran and Tommy and Mike will get to give their takes on the trailer for the first time, publicly anyway. We are also going to dive into our favorite 80s movies. Now, what this is, Johnny will be joining us for this list in just a bit, but we picked one movie from each year in the 80s that are our favorites, and we're each going to give them for each year. So hopefully you all play along with that. I have to be honest, guys, that was the prospect of that list, I felt like it was going to be challenging, and there were definitely some challenging spots, but that list came together easier than I thought it would. But I actually had more fun with this list than I've had with a list in a long time.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was easy because it was all my favorite movies of all time. So, like, I kind of have that list in my mind already. So, you know, you're like, hey, what beats this or this? Like, I've already debated this forever. Like, I've done this already. So, you know, in my head, I've already come up with, man, what movie do I like better? You know, being that they're all older movies too.
Well, without further ado, he is the co-host over at Fandom Empire now. He's also a writer for Collider. Big shout out to Mike, who I don't know if you've had your second one yet, but I know you definitely had your first article. Check that out. That was a bunch of fun. How's it going, man?
Going good, man. I do not have my second article, but I do have a Halloween Michael Myers article that did just get approved about an hour ago. So I'm working on that. That'll be released Monday.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, everything's going good. Excited to be here. We're talking 80s movies, which is, I love the 80s, everything to do with the 80s. So very excited to give this list. I'm with you. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but once you start filtering out your favorite movies and what you really like, it became a lot easier. There were a couple years in there that I really struggled with, but yeah, man, I'm excited to give my list and excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you. Before we can even introduce the other two, we have a super chat. Mandalorian. I love the way that you played on that. That's cool. In Halloween 2018, Michael Myers had 2 or 3 fingers blown off by Laurie. In the Kills final trailer, it looks like he has those fingers back. I can assure you that he most definitely does not have those fingers back. And in fact, I mean, it's not a spoiler now. I mean, you can tell that he's, 1, cauterized the wound in the fire, and 2, has it like wrapped. So who wraps it? Did he wrap it? Did Nurse Marion wrap it? Who knows? Well, I mean, we know, but yeah.
It's possible there's like a flashback part where you see his hand.
Well, there's definitely a flashback part. We're going to get
Well,
to
we know there's a flashback part, but I mean, if you picked it out, like, oh, what the fuck was with that in that trailer? Like, that scene could be from the flashback, maybe.
Hey, Mandalorian, why don't you do us a favor? Why don't you freeze frame it and tweet it to @Fandom Empire now on Twitter, and we'll check it out over there and talk about it as the show goes on. Sean, play the trailer. I cannot do that. This is a monetized show, and yeah, we can't do that. So, but you know where to find it. Also joining us this evening, he is the usual co-host here at Fandom Empire Live. It's Harry Potter. No, I'm kidding. It's Tommy B. Yeah, you looked like Harry Potter there for a second.
Douchebag.
Shit, I'll take that compliment all day long.
That's not very nice, Tommy.
Yeah. You'll be all right.
So how you doing, dude?
Hanging in there. It's been a bit of a slow day, but you know, same shit, different day, right?
Yes, sir.
It was a hell of a list. I will preface the stream by saying that I did mine this afternoon. I'm still bitching about it. And I still think I'm gonna have someone say something, be like, "Damn, I forgot about that one."
Well, they can go fuck themselves.
I guess we'll see, right?
Sean, did you see how Jimmy blatantly spoiled the POV falling shot? So the reason why I highlighted this is I'm just going to be very blunt with you. I haven't been watching hardly any other content creators. It's not like oh my god, I don't want to watch their content sort of thing. I watched Dave very briefly the other day, and then had to go. I don't have time. I'm back working, plus doing this, plus doing the family thing. I don't have time. I will eventually find a rainy day to catch up on some cool streams from all those other people, or short videos, whatever they did. But so I have no idea what he said, and you know, it is what it is. Also joining us, fresh off the Rick and Morty fan show, it's Kieran. How's it going, man?
Not too bad. Not too bad. We had a trivia championship today, which was exciting. One of my longtime watchers ended up winning that, which was really cool. And oh yeah, go fuck yourself, Max. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. It's been a super busy, like crazy busy last couple of weeks for me. I have my whole next 2 months planned out. Like, I think there's not a day that's not planned out in my next 2 months. And
That's a good thing, though, right?
Crazy.
Oh,
it's bad for me because
Oh.
I have anxiety about all these things that are coming up.
I got you. I feel
How
that.
much time I'm gonna have to, like, you know, I got just every weekend planned out. A lot of it's my daughter's hockey. She's got a bunch of hockey games coming up. Super exciting, and I love to do it, but it's just like, when am I gonna have some time to just sit back and watch some dumb movies? But whatever. I don't know. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, sorry, I gotta address this. Best thing I heard Jimmy say in that video is that the flashback mask is a clean 2018 mask. No, it's not even remotely close. If you can Google a clean version of the 2018 mask, and well, you know, we're supposed to believe the 2018 mask is a mask that's aged 40 years. In terms of just structure and everything, well, it's close to H1. It's still not H1. There's a big difference between what's being used in this flashback and that. I think Jimmy and others have probably seen some of the behind the scenes stuff from 2018, where they were going to go back and change the ending to Halloween 1978, which John Carpenter said, "You guys are fucking idiots if you do that." And so I'm assuming that he's just putting two and two together. But no, the mask they use is not. Just look at the side with the hair; it's completely different. This is as close to the original mask as we've ever gotten. Anywho, boys, Halloween Kills. The trailer is out. The 2,750-second trailer for this movie has come and gone in the blink of an eye. Mike, I want to go over to you first, dude. What did you think of the actually, before I go to you, I just want to reiterate what I said the other day on our stream. I really liked the trailer. I did the trailer reaction. I think it's pretty evident when you see me basically facepalm like, oh my God, I can't believe they showed that. Not like, oh my God, I didn't know that was going to happen. But like, there's a lot of people that don't know that's going to happen. And it was like, okay, that's a bit much for the trailer. I thought up until like the last 20 seconds of the trailer that it was by far the best put together trailer they've done yet for this movie. Again, I still think they show way too much. But I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
I like the trailer. I've liked every trailer they put out as far as a fan, or just overall in general. It's I have a great feeling about the movie. So obviously the trailers are going to be good in my opinion, and they were, and they have been. But to be honest with you, I agree with everything that you said, Sean. I think it's the best made trailer that they had put out. Up until those last 20 seconds. I haven't read the script, so I didn't know any of that was in there. I had a feeling that they would show that one of them were going to be in there. We were going to see how, Michael, I don't know. Are we spoiling? Like, what do we?
No, I mean, look, we're sitting here on stream talking about the trailer. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to remove the graphics, guys. Anything that's in the trailer is fair game, regardless of how spoilery it is or not. And then when the graphic goes back up, we'll stop talking about that part of the trailer. So the graphic's going to be gone for a little bit.
Yeah. So I had a feeling that maybe there was a good possibility that we would see how Michael would be captured, because obviously that's how 2018 starts out. He obviously gets captured. And from the looks of the trailer, we're going to see how that happens in a flashback. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't read the script, but from what I've seen, that's what it looks like is going to happen. So I expected that part. Seeing the young Michael, come on. That's the one that got me. I had no idea about that. Now, good thing about this is I have no idea where they're going with it. So that's a piece where I'm okay with. And to be honest with you, I didn't notice it the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, I kind of just went back and paused it at certain points. And was like, what is that? What was that? What was that? But obviously it was clear when I paused it. I knew exactly what it was. So I would have liked to that not been in there and, saw that for the first time in the theaters. But luckily for me, like I said, I haven't read the script or anything like that. So it doesn't spoil it too much. Cause like I said, I don't know where they're going with that. It does make my mind wander a little bit more, because they dropped a piece in there. There's like, oh damn, so young Michael is in there. Where are they going to go with this? So I guess you can pull it from all kinds of different sides. If you sit back and think about it, it gets you more intrigued in a sense, but it's just one of those pieces where it didn't have to be in there. And I was just shocked it was in there. So I'm not too upset with anything. I thought it was fine. I was more upset with the first trailer of all they basically showed, I want to say the entire firefighter scene, but all the fucking kills pretty much. I mean, I was more disappointed in that part, to be honest with you.
I'm going to give everybody a little more tease than we normally do on the YouTube channel here for a second and say there's a lot of people all over social media saying something about that, a specific something about that kid Michael shot. And I understand why people are drawing that conclusion. All I'm going to say is there's a lot of people that have no idea what the context is behind that shot, and it's not nearly as straightforward as a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. So like to me, that's why it's kind of like, why is that in the trailer? And if it was like something, if it was like well, we wanted this in the trailer so that people like really focused in on it, and you get to hype that for the movie, it wouldn't have been shown for just a split second and moved on. But
Agreed. I mean, like I said, it does make my mind wander a little bit, but it's just one of those scenes that if I would have saw it, like I know it's coming now. Now I still might be wowed of what's going to happen, but if I would have saw young Michael in whatever type of flashback it's going to be, or I would have been like, holy shit. Instead, I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, that's cool.
By the way, before we get some more thoughts here from Mike and move on to the others, just saying, we were live at 9 today, people. 9. Right at 9. Not 9:05, not 9:10, not 9:12 or 9:20. 9.
Well, it's been long known that the only reason we're not on live is because Johnny.
Wait,
It's all his fault, right? Everyone knows that.
Johnny or Terrence, one of the two.
So I don't watch a lot of TV. So I was watching football Sunday, of course, and I saw I think it was actually Sunday night football. And that's where I actually saw the TV spot for the first time actually on TV. So marketing is definitely kicking in and heating up, especially during Sunday night football, as many people that watches that. So I got on Twitter soon after that, and I saw people that aren't really big horror fans, just sports fans in general, that were like, how the hell is Michael still alive? Obviously they don't follow the video, but or the story of Michael, so they don't, obviously they don't know, but I just thought that was funny.
Just a quick comment on that, Mike. Every single night football game this year has been so good.
That is
Have
true.
you noticed that?
That is true.
Every single game has kept me up until 12 at night. Like, God damn, I got to see the field goal. Like,
yeah, I was like that last Monday night, the Raiders and Baltimore game. I wanted to go to bed so bad, but I was just like, fuck, dude, come on, hurry up. Like I had no invested interest. I was just like, fucking do something.
Oh, I always have an interest. I have like 8 fantasy teams.
Before we piss Tommy off with too much sports talk, I got to add one more thing. So I guess Tom Brady still has it, huh?
Never lost it.
9 touchdowns so far.
Looks like he's doing okay.
Never lost it.
So, Kieran, your thoughts on the Halloween Kills trailer, man? The final trailer. What'd you like? What didn't you like?
There honestly is almost nothing I didn't like. I liked the only thing I didn't like is what I've been saying all along. They showed too much. We've seen everything.
You were going to mob there.
You could put together. Oh well, those are problems with the script. Like I said, if they pull this movie off in a way that it doesn't end up quite the way I'm thinking it might happen, like I mean everything. You can read a script and it doesn't mean you know the whole movie. Like you don't know what the pacing is. You don't know how they show it. You don't know exactly. You're just reading, such and such a character gets stabbed. You're like, okay, well, does it look dumb? And does it look like they could have gotten away? Does it make sense that they got stabbed at that point? Did they, a lot of things you don't get when you read a script. So, I mean, obviously I have a problem with I don't like the whole idea of a mob chasing down Michael Myers. I've always hated that. I've been saying that all along, but the trailer is very good. It's very good. It's very exciting. I think it would be enticing for me, even if I wasn't a Halloween fan. I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I'll go see that this weekend. I think they did a good job with, roping in people probably that were on the fence or just, there are moviegoers out there, like I've said before. I'm one of those moviegoers where I'm like, I want to go to a movie this weekend. And then I look up the trailers for the 4 new movies that were out in the last couple of weeks. And I say, yeah, that one looks good.
And to that point, Kieran, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, their main focus is to bring in those people who aren't big Halloween fans. They know that Halloween fans are going to come and see the movie regardless. They might be frustrated with whatever they put in the trailer, how much they leak or whatever but they know they can guarantee and count on those loyal Halloween fans to come into the movies and see that movie. So their main goal is to draw in those ones that are on the fence, those ones that may want to go see a movie this weekend.
Yeah, like the four of us were going to see fucking Halloween in space. We were. It doesn't matter how bad it would be. We were going to see it anyways.
Yeah. So,
but how would they sell Halloween in space to regular moviegoers?
So as bad as it sucks for us, how much we thought that they ruined, a show too much to the regular moviegoer. That's what they care about.
Yeah. They're not like, oh, they showed too much. They're like, oh, that looks cool. Yeah, that looks cool. I want to see that. Like, if they didn't show any kills, then they're not selling to those people, right?
And a good example is my dad's not a big horror fan, but when he saw the Halloween Kills trailer, he was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like,
"Yeah,
I think
exactly. I'm 100% on board with that idea."
You guys were talking about seeing movies before we get to more of your thoughts on the trailer, specifically, Kieran. How fucking good does Midnight Mass look? Like, I am so ready for that movie.
Really good. I've liked a lot of Flanagan's work, for sure. I love what he did with Dr. Sleep, obviously one of the best sequels that I've ever seen, especially here lately. So yeah, I'm very excited. Midnight Mass looks great. One of the main
reviews have been great for it too.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So I think it's like sitting at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes so far, which is pretty good. So yeah, looking I very excited. I know we had a couple people that got previous screenings on it in our Netflix group that raved about it a lot, that are really big horror fans. So very good to hear, and I'm excited to check it out. I think it's going to be good.
Kieran, is there anything specifically that happens in the trailer you want to bring up and talk about?
You know what I really loved, and it's the smallest little bit, but they had that sound effect, that eerie, super weird sound. That honestly, that one sound, I was like, woo! Like, I got chills with that. It was pretty cool, and I like that. I mean, the stuff that they showed, the young Michael, the certain character in the background there, one shot, those things didn't bother me because I had read the script. I think they did it in such a way showing, I'm just going to say his name because we got the thing, but the way they showed Loomis in the background of that, like they didn't show it. That could be a quick shot at the end. That could be like, they didn't show him doing anything, so they didn't spoil anything.
And I mean, I haven't read the script, and I knew that he was in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I knew that was coming, and like I said, it was so quick. And even when you pause it and freeze it, I mean, you do get the 1978 Loomis look. I mean, that's when it was taking place, so that's what I expected. So then again, like I said, no big spoilers in my opinion outside of young Michael. I had no idea. Not even a hint, nothing. So
I still think you probably have no idea what the context of it is either. So
I don't. So like I said, I see it.
I've
already seen it from both sides.
Wrong. So
okay. So see, it makes it. They know, it's like they don't know what they're doing, but they know what the fuck they're doing too. So I don't know.
Tommy Bizzle. What's going on, man? You look like you're in serious mood tonight.
I just got done watching the trailer for Midnight Mass because I forgot to watch it earlier.
Oh, what do you think of that before we dive into the kills?
I mean, I really wasn't listening to the volume cranked up, so I really didn't get the premise, but it sounds like someone coming back from war or something like that, some traumatic experience. And spouse says,
horror movie.
Well, yeah, it's a horror movie. I get that, but spouse says go get involved with church, and church turns out to be all kinds of weird shit happening.
It just looks
like it's not a slasher.
It looks very Mike Flanagan.
It's not a slasher.
Is what I'll say. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. If you get Flanagan to direct one day Halloween or Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, it'd be huge because he's so good at what he does.
But like, I didn't pick up just from watching it real quick. And mind you, I had y'all were the priority volume here. What's the horror element Is it just weird shit happening, or it's not a slasher, right? I didn't pick that up.
Well, I mean, I think you have to see the movie to determine that. You're muted, Mike. I don't know if you were.
No, I agree. I agree.
You have to
Well,
see the
fuck
movie
me,
to
I
find
guess.
out what
All right,
genre it is.
I see how it is.
Well, I mean, it's horror, but I mean, some people, I know legitimate people that consider like the first Halloween movie not to be a slasher.
Fuck
Okay.
that. It was on my slasher list, bitch.
Okay.
I mean, some people get slashed in it, so
I mean, it only
Yeah,
does
I
have
mean,
like
what
7
more
kills.
do
But,
you
I mean,
need to qualify it?
Again, I haven't seen much on the marketing for it. Same with Malignant. I don't know much about either movie, and yet both of those movies are being super well received.
I mean, I heard about it today when Mike here posted about it in one of our chats, and that's when I said, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll have to look into that." And so I just looked into it, and it's interesting. I mean, it comes out what is it? This Friday, I think. Yeah, sounds right.
yeah,
So
Friday.
I'll check it out. Maybe this weekend, maybe not. We'll see.
What do you think of the Kills trailer?
Well,
Oh.
they're continuing down that same path where they're showing us more stuff that we didn't need to see before we see the actual movie, making me question, why am I even going and seeing the movie? Why are we paying to see the movie if we're just going to see it all in trailers? But no, what we did see, it's pretty cool. I got I'm fortunate to have the background knowledge of some of what's what we're looking at and what's to come, what follows, the bits and pieces that are in the trailer. And
I'm sorry, I got to bring something up here. One second. Go ahead. Continue on. Sorry.
What?
I'm trying to pull something up.
You just interrupted me just to say I'm sorry. I have to bring something up to not do it.
The StreamYards is doing that thing where it won't let us upload a certain file type. So continue.
Okay. Yeah, the trailer looks okay. There's a certain piece about the trailer that everybody freaks out about. And like, look. And I'm just kind of like, yeah. And okay, that's good.
What is it? What part? You can say.
We're spoilers here. We're in spoilers.
Yeah.
The dude in the back.
You can say it, Tommy. They've openly talked about it.
The shot of Loomis in the back.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't get hyped for that that shot because like, yo, it's dark as shit. It's not a good shot. I can't see shit. It's not clear. That does very little for me. I hope when we see the whole film, we'll get a better shot. I mean, however they want to make that work, right? So,
I mean, from what I hear, we are getting a close up, but I don't know.
Oh my god!
So this poster is in Chinatown, LA. It's on display. I suppose this is your next poster for the movie. Halloween 2018 had that alternative Face Your Fate poster. And now you get Jamie Lee Curtis with Halloween Kills in theaters and on Peacock on the poster. So it's pretty fresh. I
don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it either.
And the reason why I don't like it is the same fucking reason we've been saying on this channel for who fucking knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
Is and this is part of the mismarketing thing we were talking about. We're moving on from the trailer, by the way, people, but is she's not the main fucking character of the movie. And I know the trailers are making it seem like she's in this movie a shit ton. And the truth is she's not. She filmed for like 8 days, I think.
I was about to say, just to give people an example of how long she was down in Wilmington, 9 days.
9 days, yeah. And they weren't, not all of those were full days either. So,
and some of those were on the weekend because I went down there on a Saturday and met her on a Saturday walking her dog. So
that's cool.
I just don't like it because her face looks like a vagina.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we just ended up on her shit list if we were.
It's a little much, but you know.
Agreed.
Hey, we're here for it, I guess.
Let's end the Halloween Kills talk with letting the chat rate the trailer. What would you guys give the new Halloween Kills trailer, the final trailer, even though there's more TV spots and at least one clip to come? What are you guys giving that out of 10? Comment now in the live chat, or if you're watching after the fact, the comment section down below.
Max Elliott said Jamie Lee Curtis looks old as fuck. Well, she is pretty old.
Brooke now says that she's a
what do you want her to look like? Like, did you forget that like her Halloween premiere was all the way back in the late 70s or what?
She is a babe though. I'll give her that.
Let's see. Dean Renner 7 out of 10. Too many spoiled good moments. Alex says 9. Wizard says 8.5. Jason says 8. Troy's an 8. Entertainment TV's giving it a 10. Aaron's a 7 out of 10. Matt's, pardon me, it skipped on me there. Matt's an 8 out of 10. Melissa's 10. Spurs 10. Kevin Chandler's 8. Max Elliott says Jamie Lee Curtis has a nice rack. I mean,
oh my God, dude.
Jamie Lee Curtis is married to the man with 6 fingers from A Princess Bride.
Say it right. It's the 6-fingered man.
I don't know. Rob Zombie should have directed this. Oh God. Our boy Kenny says 8 out of 10. Mandalorian's a 9 out of 10. 11 out of 10 with less spoilers. Brent says a 9 out of 10. And then there were 5. Joining us, he is one of the co-hosts of the Inside Handoff podcast. I think I caught him choking on his pop at Kieran's comment a little earlier in the waiting room. It's Johnny. How's it going, man? You still with us?
Nah, I just opened it, so you caught me off guard. Like, I'm taking a swig right as you're like, and now we're... Oh, crap. No, Kieran got a WTF, though. That one.
I just saw that.
It was like one of the first things I hear when I come in. It's like, looks like I'm like, what?
Apparently she's a gilf. Didn't know that was a thing.
You didn't know that was a thing?
I mean, I didn't realize she had grandkids.
I feel like we've heard this before. Johnny, do the fucking notes. He's watching just to get that shot in. Wow. So we have one hell of a list to get to today.
For that, I'm going to do the notes while you're sleeping, so you have to wait until morning to see them.
We did our 80s movies list.
God, that was fucking hard.
We had to pick a favorite movie from each year in the 80s. Again, it's favorite movie, not what we think is necessarily the best movie made in that year. We're going to go just like this in the table. Michael start, then me, then Tommy, then Kieran, and Johnny, clockwise. And I believe that's the way it's displayed for everybody else, right? Or is it just me that has
I mean, you'd be starting in the middle if it was you at the 12 o'clock, because Mike's kind of
we're going to start at
11, but starting in the top left. And
wow, it took you 2 minutes to come in here and sound like a douche. Congratulations. Fuck. Horns for me. Fuck you.
You're literally at the 12, right in the dead center.
Anyways. God, now I'm just waiting for some of your picks on this list now. Fuck. Here we go. Or someone's going to have a pick and you're just going to be like, what?
Well, at least Sean can't pick any of those dumb pirate
it's
movies.
It's favorite, not best. So no, I mean, I might be like, that's your favorite movie from that year? Really? If it's a really bad, like if somebody has fucking Howard the Duck on their list, I'm going to question their sanity. But
I think we're definitely going to have to do 70s and 90s and 2000s as well.
I feel like 90s would be kind of hard.
I just started looking at the 90s and I'm like, I'd have to pick one from each year. That's no, I can't. Can we do like a top 5 of each year? Is that more top 3 of every year?
It would take too long. All right, Mike, why don't you kick us off starting with 1980?
This one was actually pretty easy for me. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. It is The Shining. One of the movies that I can still, if I turn off all the lights, turn the surround sound up, sit in the dark, just and be in the movie, it still gives me goosebumps till this day. One of my favorites, like I said, Jack Nicholson did a great job. Everybody did a great job in that movie, and it's just one of my favorites. And obviously, I forgot when I started looking these movies up or started looking up movies year by year. I forgot it was in 1980. So when I saw it, honestly, I didn't really have to look too much farther than that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with The Shining for my 1980 movie.
Well, you can't go wrong with The Shining. The Shining's amazing. It would have been my runner-up if we got those, but we don't. So I made the easy pick, the greatest movie of all time, The Empire Strikes Back. Empire has been like so influential on my life, and I mean, I think there are movies where you can look at that are made today, and you go, okay, well, I mean, you definitely see some Empire in that. So yeah, Empire Strikes Back. I mean, Han Solo, Darth Vader, can't go wrong with that. Tommy B, what do you got at 1980?
Empire.
All right. Well, I mean, okay, Kieran.
Well, I mean, those are both great movies, but who can forget the 1980 classic Airplane, starring Leslie Nielsen?
That's not.
It's not my favorite though. It's definitely Empire Strikes Back.
That's not
It's
You're
Empire
not a
Strikes Back,
true
of course.
Star Wars fan.
It's Empire. It's Empire Strikes Back. It's funny. Like this was like not my favorite Star Wars movie at all. It was like one that I really liked, but the more I watch it with Sean, and Sean talks about how great it is, the more it rises up my list. Normally I don't let Sean convince me of things, but this one, like, I think he's just so in love with it. I could see it in his eyes, and now it's probably, like, I've agreed it's probably the best Star Wars movie. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but it probably is the best one.
I think it's the best movie, period. But yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, who the fuck else would say that?
A lot of people.
Sean's a true Star Wars fan.
Favorite movie ever out of all movies? I don't think a lot of people.
I'm definitely not a true Star Wars fan, because someone said to me today, they asked me today, hey, are you looking forward to Star Wars Visions? And my answer was no. And they're like, what? How can you not be looking forward to Star Wars Visions? I'm like, well, I'll probably watch it someday on a rainy day, like 5 years from now, but no. And they're like, how can you not be so excited for this? It's like, you don't have to fucking love everything Star Wars to love Star Wars. Jeez, people.
I'm still a little miffed that they didn't make it. Like, if they were going to do something like this, they didn't make it canon.
I'm excited about it too, but I think we should probably keep this moving. It's a long list. What do you got, Johnny?
There have been 3 movies mentioned, and they would have been my 1, 2, 3 for the year. Empire's number 1, though. I mean, like Sean said, it's one of the best movies ever made. So it's, they're great movies that year. Airplane was my 2, and Shining was 3, but Empire's 1. There's no debating it.
Okay, we fucking get it.
Fucking Dean. Mike, you ruined it, man. We could have went perfect on that. That was probably our best shot at being perfect.
I don't give a damn.
I don't know. I think
I'm pretty sure 4 of us used to do a Star Wars show.
Yeah,
so
I doubt 81 has a shot.
Yeah, I agree.
My favorite 81 movie?
81. Take it away, Mike.
Come on, guys. Halloween 2. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. One of my favorite Halloween movies that I rewatch every year. And I still don't know. I sit back and I think, why do I pick this movie? Like, why is this movie so rewatchable to me? And I still can't put a fingerprint on it on why it is. It's just the movie that I go back to. Maybe it's the fact that I really like that it picks up directly the same night as the 1978 original. I think that has a big factor to it. I don't know. I just really like this movie overall. So I'm going to go Halloween 2 for my favorite 1981 film.
I think one of the reasons Halloween 2 is so rewatchable is that there is just so many moving pieces in that film. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis is technically the star, but she spends most of the movie passed out or groggy. You get to, you're basically following the hospital staff. And every time you rewatch it, you might decide to focus in on a different, character. I do think Halloween Kills has a lot of that in it too.
And I always used to thought, like, as a kid, like, how creepy. One, I thought as a kid hospitals were creepy to begin with, but hospitals at night, I always thought that was creepy. And then after I saw Halloween 2, I was like, are hospitals at night really that dead? So it just put the whole creepy factor in the hospital, wise, and having Michael be in the hospital. I don't know. It just really sits well with me, and it's a movie that I go back to all the time. So,
I know all Halloween fans are clamoring for me to say Halloween 2, just like Mike, and it would be number 2 on my list, but we're not doing that. So my movie is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Boy, how shit would those movies have been with fucking what's-his-face? Monica's boyfriend on Friends. Magnum P. No, not Burt Reynolds. Magnum P.I.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck, that's it. Burt Reynolds.
It's very easy to confuse those two because of the mustaches.
Did they ever do a movie together?
They should have.
They
should have done twins.
How do you know that it would have been bad with Tom Selleck? Tom Selleck's a good actor.
Indiana Jones.
Just the mustache makes that a no.
You don't know that. You don't know it would have been bad.
Careful, Kieran. Careful.
It wouldn't have been as good. Let's say that.
You don't know that.
Though I kind of do.
I forgot. You know everything.
Well, no, Tom Selleck, he's not a movie guy. He never made the transition well. Burt Reynolds probably could have pulled it off better than Tom Selleck. But
Tom Selleck is a good B player. He's a good supporting dude. I don't think he can carry stuff necessarily. He did that movie with
well, he does on TV really well, obviously.
He did the movie with Ashton Kutcher there where Kutcher's playing like the hitman, and he married the girl from Grey's Anatomy, what is it, Katherine Heigl or whatever. He married her in the movie, and her family is in that industry as well. And Selleck plays one of the hitmans, and it's pretty funny. I can't even remember what the fuck that movie's called now. But to me, he's a good supporting actor. He's nowhere fucking close to Harrison Ford. Anyway, 1981 for me was Raiders of the Lost Ark. What do you got, Tom?
So I also didn't. I'm not the biggest indie fan, but yeah, it's undeniable. Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's probably my favorite Indiana Jones film, right? So,
like that iconic moment where you got the guy fucking twirling the sword, and you're like, "Oh fuck, look what he can do!" And they were legitimately supposed to get into like a big fight. That was the plan while filming it. And like, I can't remember who it was that changed it on the spot.
It was Harrison. He was dealing with stomach issues. I think the story is he had diarrhea. Like he was battling food poisoning, stomach flu stuff, and he was just like.
Can you imagine if that moment wasn't in that movie? Oh, it would be terrible. No, well, the movie wouldn't be terrible, but it'd be terrible to lose that moment. Like, it's so iconic. Him just fucking pulling out the gun and shooting them.
It defines Indy so well as I'm done with this.
It's fucking Han Solo. Like, it really is Han Solo in that moment.
And there's no argument on who shot first there.
No, there isn't. Kieran, what do you got at 81, man?
I have Halloween 2 because I like Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I only decide to watch it every once in a while. I like watching Halloween 2 again. Like, I feel like every once in a while I go through and I'm like, oh, what trilogy haven't I seen in a while? And I go back and watch it. And I go through it, but Halloween 2 is awesome. And like, I want to highlight, I know that Mike was saying he doesn't know exactly what the the points on it that he likes about it are. It's got some really great Loomis parts in it, and obviously I'm such a big Loomis fan. He's awesome in it. I love when he turns the car around with the gun. So, we're turning this car around. We're going back. Also, I really love when the security guard is going through the lockers and things like that. Like, you think that Michael's around every fucking corner that whole time. Takes forever for him to get there, but like they did a really good job showing some really tense shots where nothing happens. And like, you're like, fuck, he's everywhere. Fuck, he's around that corner. Oh man, the camera just turned a corner, so he's obviously around there. And it fakes you out a lot. I think they did a great job of building up the suspense in Halloween 2, and it's my top 1981 movie.
Let's not forget, I mean, with our boy Frank Riker in the chat, it's got a hot tub. Got that hot tub scene. Hot tubbity tub. Johnny, round us up here, man. Or round us off here, man.
I guess we're literally a split panel, 3-2. Raiders of the Lost Ark. You've said it all. Were there other choices? Yes. I mean, I almost picked Evil Dead, but Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Evil Dead was a good one too.
This is pretty interesting here because you have 10 different possible picks so far through 2 rounds, and we've only had 4 movies. Just saying, only 4 movies so far. Interesting. I wonder if that trend will continue. I don't think it will.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. Let's start off in 1982 with Mr. Bish.
For me, it's just gonna be going back to when I was a kid and what movies I still like to watch sometimes, and that's gonna be E.T. I loved E.T. I loved the adventure that everything that movie brought. So for me, I have to go with E.T. For my 1982 film.
Mandalorian in the chat says The Thing.
That's a good one. That was on my list for sure.
Halloween finally makes an appearance from me here. It's 1982's Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I cannot fucking wait to watch this movie in 4K. I'm like totally bananas over it. Can't wait. Love that movie. Heavily underrated. Definitely way better than Halloween 5 and Zombies movies and Resurrection and H2O and all that nonsense. So yeah, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch for me. What do you got, Tommy?
Internal struggle.
You're supposed to have it made by now.
Fuck off. All right, I'm gonna be for real. Halloween 3's been on my list for several hours now. E.T.'s cool. There's a reason it's a celebrated film. It wasn't getting my film here. However, I'm going to be a douchebag and I'm going to give a runner-up because I almost just changed it. Is Tron. I like Tron.
I didn't even know that was 82.
Yep.
Man. I mean, it's not Halloween 3 for me, but Tron's good.
Good film. It is. I have not seen the sequel. I've heard lots of bad shit about it. But
I thought it was okay, to be honest.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. I wonder if it's on Disney Plus. Okay.
I have a struggle that is totally different than any of your struggles. So my struggle for this one was Star Trek 2 and Gandhi, which are 2 movies I really like. I didn't watch the Gandhi movie until really late. And I know that like a lot of people, Gandhi hasn't been looked as a person, hasn't been looked at the same later on after, finding out a little bit like some of the ways that he lived his life. But I absolutely love the movie. However, Star Trek 2 is a movie I'll watch over and over again. It's the best Star Trek movie of all time, probably. Like it's fantastic. It's got so many great lines. It's got Khan in it. It's got the famous part where Spock is dying. It's honestly it's a fantastic movie.
Sorry, Tommy, was your pick Tron or Halloween 3?
We're going to go with Halloween 3 because I haven't seen Tron in quite a while, and I've watched H3 3 times in the past year or 2.
Johnny!
Well,
man,
Now I split the vote because I've had one on my list until I realized another movie was that year, and it changed it completely. And originally it was E.T. I thought that was the consensus, but I was wrong.
Well then,
Wrath of Khan. It's an amazing film. I mean, it's the most quotable of all of the Star Treks. Has great performances from, it's Nimoy's best performance, period. And Shatner actually has a performance that isn't campy as fuck, and that makes it important because you actually feel the moment when Khan puts his or when Spock puts his hand on the glass, and they do the "You have always been and always will be my friend," and "I have always been and always will be." You can actually feel emotion in that moment that you never feel in Star Trek.
Yeah, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few,
or the one.
Perfect.
Mike, we're in 1983, dude. 1983.
well, I'll go with the movie that I watched way too young.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go with Scarface.
Debbie Does Dallas. Way too young.
That's the 70s.
I think Scarface speaks for itself. Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer, great movie, great film. It still holds up to this day, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with Scarface.
I didn't think it would be this movie that got my pick for 1983, just because it's not one of my favorite Star Wars movies anyway. And yet, sure enough, 1983 wasn't all that strong for me in terms of movies I like. And so Return of the Jedi it is for me. And I actually think that it's one of the, I don't know, not so great Star Wars movies, and yet still better than a lot of the shit that we get today. Tommy B.
Sorry, did I say that on air?
I think you did.
No.
I'm in the same boat. Return of the Jedi, but different exposition. I'm not someone who's ever had, big issues with Jedi. It's just I get why people don't like it, but I've just never felt that way. It's fine. It's a good Star Wars film. I don't hate it. So I'm there.
Kieran?
I mean, it's definitely Return of the Jedi for me. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. Like I said, it's probably if you go, all the cinematography and writing and whatever, it probably is Empire Strikes Back as a superior made movie. But Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. I guess that's all I can say. I mean, I've said so much about it, and the final battle is like the ultimate Star Wars for me. We've talked about it so much on this channel, so I'll just Return of the Jedi is it for sure.
Johnny?
Oh man, this one was ridiculously easier for me, because it has, as crazy as it sounded, it had such a huge effect on things that came later in my life. Because without this film, there is no Razor Ramon, there is no Scott Hall, there is no NWO, and pro wrestling as a whole isn't what it is today. So easy for me. Best film in 1983. My favorite film in 1983. Say hello to my little friend, Scarface.
So we've had nine combined films picked out of a possible 20 different films that could.
I think the mid-decade is where we're going to start seeing a lot of variety.
I thought we would be there by now, but we really aren't yet. So,
we had Halloween movies and Star Wars movies.
It was a very George Lucas, Steven Spielberg first half of the 80s.
As The Offspring once said, flashback to 1984. Give it to us, Mike.
This is where I started to kind of struggle a little bit based on my favorites and what I go back to watch. I'm going to go with Nightmare on Elm Street. The introduction of Freddy Krueger, what Wes Craven did with Freddy in that film, I thought was absolutely phenomenal. One of my favorite horror films of all time. So I'm going to go with The Nightmare on Elm Street. But the runner-up for me was A Karate Kid. So.
For me, 1984 is, in what my opinion, would be the best movie in this franchise, it's The Terminator. I know a lot of people like T2 the best in that franchise, but for me, The Terminator plays like a horror movie, and I love it. I dig it. I love the whole Kyle Reese storyline. I haven't seen that movie in forever, but yeah, The Terminator.
I also have The Terminator. I do think I remember being conflicted about whether Terminator 2 is better or not than the original. That's another task, I guess, for another time. Go back and watch those films, right?
The Terminator.
They came out with a new one several years ago, didn't they?
A few years ago. I still haven't seen it yet, though.
They've come up with one every 3 years, like forever.
The last one I liked would have been the one with Christian Bale, but that was just because the one before that was fucking atrocious. So, and the one after that was even worse. So,
you like the one with Christian Bale in it? That's the one that everyone seems to hate the most.
That one sucked.
I think Jenny Smith and I know it's Genesis, but Genesis and 3, and I haven't seen the newest one, are just not very good at all. And I actually like the Bale one because it was the first time we'd ever really gotten the future and actually spending time there. And I get it, people just love to hate on Christian Bale, but I thought he was good in that movie, and I thought that movie was good. Right up until the end. I thought the end, once they actually got to the CGI Arnold part, that kind of took me out of it. That, to me, was like, you didn't need to do that. It wasn't necessary. But yeah, no, Terminator. Kieran, yeah.
Yeah. Tommy said Terminator as well, right?
Yep.
Well, I say it's Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters is awesome. I was a big fan of Ghostbusters as a kid. I loved the cartoons. I loved everything to do with Ghostbusters. I had all the toys. I dressed up as a Ghostbuster for Halloween one time, and all that whole time I didn't realize that one of them had sex with a ghost in the movie.
Wow.
You go through that whole movie as a kid and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Why is this scene happening? This is boring. Oh, okay, good. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's here. Like, whatever, like, and then you watch it as an adult and you're like, what the fuck? How did I not ask my parents about this?
Oh boy. Well, my list almost went all the way up to 11. I almost picked Spinal Tap. Came very close. But I agree with one of you. Ghostbusters. I mean, come on. That's one of the best ensemble films out there. It's amazing writing. It's amazing directing. And it features just so many amazing comedic actors, all in one place. I mean, you cannot go wrong with that group. It's Ghostbusters all the way.
Fuck your stop motion robots.
I have just never understood Ghostbusters. It's just not something that's for me. I respect the original one, obviously, because of who's in it. It's, absolutely, top tier world talent. But I don't know. I just never got on the Ghostbusters bandwagon, pardon me. Jade says she's high. Please, what? Hang on. Oh, Jade's list. All right, Jade wanted me to read her list quickly on air. Jade had The Shining. This might give some people an idea to maybe change theirs or not. 80 was The Shining. 81 was Halloween 2. 82 was E.T. 83 is The Outsiders. The Outsiders is a great movie. 80, you only get one of these. I'm not saying multiple. So 84, I'm going to go with Gremlins. 85, Goonies. 86, April Fool's Day. 87, The Princess Bride. 88, Beetlejuice. 89, Little Memo Adventures in Slumberland. Mimo? I've never even heard of that. So
I haven't seen all those movies.
Yeah, it didn't change my mind. But cool list. No cheating though. You tried to get away with like 3 picks on 1 year.
Oh, I picked like 3 in some years, man. It was hard. To get
Well,
that
No
one.
cheating, Jay. This isn't a board game.
Oh man.
I just got uninvited to the next board game night.
No. No.
What do we have to start at 85?
Where
Right?
are we? Where are we?
85. Yeah, sorry.
I don't think anybody's gone yet. So, Mike, I
All
think it's you.
We don't really have. Oh, yeah. Never mind. Yeah, go ahead.
Greatest movie of all time, hands down.
We already did 1980.
There
It's-
are other choices, but I don't think 85 holds any of them.
It's gonna be Back to the Future. It's my favorite movie of all time. I've seen that movie over 100 times, no lie. Everything about that film, I've just from the moment I saw it, love at first sight, you can say. So I'm gonna go with Back to the Future. It was tough. I mean, well, it wasn't tough, but there are other great movies that I did consider or that I do want to give honorable mentions to, which is gonna be The Goonies, another one of my favorites. And then Breakfast Club. So, but I'm gonna go with Back to the Future.
Back to the Future was runner up for me.
It's shocking. I thought you didn't really care for that movie too much.
I like the first one. I like the first one a lot. It was runner up. The winner for me was If He Dies, He Dies. It's Rocky 4.
Yeah,
Rocky
that's a
4
good
is fucking
choice.
Phenomenal. It's the best Rocky movie, in my opinion, by a country mile. And it's just so good. I haven't seen that movie in like a decade, and now I want to watch it again.
It's awesome, and I can't be mad at that.
Throw the damn towel.
Rocky
almost
run
got on
throughs
my
are very
list.
much fun.
It almost did.
As long as you skip
All
5.
What? There's no 5th movie. Goes right from 4 to Balboa.
Agreed.
Oh man. Anytime I bitch about like The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker, I always remind myself it could have been Rocky 5.
Mine is usually Godfather 3, but that's also an acceptable answer for that.
Rocky 4 director's cut supposed to be coming soon. They've been saying that for a while
Decades, I think.
now. But no, like it's been really in the process for a bit here. But I think it would have been out by now if it wasn't. For
Yeah,
the
I think it would have come out around the time Creed 2 came out if it was going to happen.
Oh, I think it's coming. I 110% believe it's coming.
I know Stallone put something on his Instagram page about it, so I just don't know what's taking so long.
Should have come out with Creed 2. That would have made so much more sense.
What do you got, Tommy B?
Yeah, the Rocky film almost landed on there, but I decided to go with The Breakfast Club for this spot.
The Breakfast Club. It's a solid movie.
Good movie.
I keep on like thinking I have like 30 seconds to think about something, and Tommy's like, "It's Breakfast Club."
We all know these films. We don't need 5 minutes of exposition on.
Don't you
films
have any
that are
passion for your movies, Tommy?
You don't want to just say the movie. The audience wants to know why it's your movie.
All right, you know what? Fine. The Breakfast Club, because breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Oh man.
Anyway, fucking hater.
I will pick Back to the Future. It's very tight between Back to the Future and Breakfast Club, but I think Back to the Future is actually, fuck, man, that's really close.
No, don't do that.
I'm gonna go with Back to the Future though. Yeah.
I waffled like 5 times on my list. I had a top 3, and I kept changing it around all the time. And I almost changed it again 30 seconds ago because I did not want to be, associated with Tommy and his reasoning. But for me, it's The Breakfast Club. You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yeah. I like The Breakfast Club a lot.
All right. I guess
I love. My favorite part is that line. There's gonna be 2 hits. I hit you. You hit the ground. Oh my god. Such a dumb fucking jock
Could you
line.
describe this ruckus?
Yeah. It was a ruckus. Yeah. There's a lot of good lines in that.
Probably be a good time for some shameless self plugs here. If you want to support the channel, number one way everybody can do that is head on over to Patreon, sign up for it. You can sign up for as little as $2 a month or as much as $27 a month. All sorts of awesome shit going on over there right now. Lambkin Lane, 1 to 2 times a month. We have another episode this Sunday and then another episode October 10th. So we're pumping out Halloween content left and right. Inside Fandom had its first episode last night. Myself and Tommy B went over there and talked. We talked a bunch of things: Venom, Star Wars, Halloween. Supernatural Revisited is also on its way. Finally, the time is here. And then coming up on the next episode of Inside Fandom, we just shared this on our Patreon. It's Scream 2022. That's what we're referring to it as. The new Scream movie will not be the same old shtick that you're used to. And we're going to dive into that on the next episode of Inside Fandom. And I'm just going to be real blunt. We are going to get into some spoilers in it. So if you want some of the inside shit that's going down with Scream, which is currently scheduled for a January 2022 release, check out Inside Fandom over on Patreon. Big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. Couldn't be here without them. Also, if you want, you can always send in a super chat, have your question and or comment read on air. Click the like button, helps out a ton. Click subscribe and keep up to date with everything we got going here. 1986, Mike. What do you got?
For me, it's going to be Friday the 13th, Part 6. It's my favorite Friday movie, hands down. To me, it's not even close. I'm not a huge fan of the, as a whole for the Friday franchise. There are a couple that I really enjoy. 2, 3, and then obviously 6 is my favorite. So I'm going to go with 3. I'm going to go with Friday the 13th, Part 6. This one was a little tough for me too. Just some honorable mentions. Ferris Bueller's Day Off was really second on my list. Runner up, and then
anybody
third.
Used to watch that movie like the night before going back to school.
Yes, me. I actually watched that this past weekend, and it was number 1 on my list until I realized Part 6 came out this year. So I would give that. Part 6 is my number 1. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and then 3 I'd probably go Hoosiers.
I almost wish that you picked Howard the Duck. Part 6 of anything. How did Part 6 of anything make it on this list?
Well, I'm gonna Loomis, shut up.
You tell the good doctor to shut up.
My pick for 1986 is Friday the 13th, Part 6. It's one of my favorite Friday movies. It's probably right behind number 2 and the remake. I think it's a great Friday movie, and when I play the Friday the 13th game, Part 6 is my Jason that I use. So I dig the look in that movie. I think it's great. So yeah, Friday Part 6 for me.
So I'm not gonna lie, this is a year I had a lot of real hard time with. I felt pretty hard fucking pressed. I was going to put Karate Kid 2 on there.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it is. I think some people hate it, but I enjoyed the plot the times I've seen it. But I'll tell you what I did just figure out was in 96 or 86. Wrong fucking.
We'll get to the 90s.
We'll get there eventually.
Probably after Halloween Kills, but yeah, no, we'll get to the 90s.
So I'm pretty sure Platoon was also released this year.
Great movie.
It's a good.
I don't go crazy for it, honestly. I think it's never been a war movie that stuck with me. That tell you, I wonder if it's just because it's like one of those really, really, really violent war movies.
Oh, I mean, it's not as good as Saving Private Ryan.
You ever see Heartbreak Ridge before?
Yes, dude.
It's a Clint Eastwood film. It's pretty freaking cool. You know, he's a gunnery sergeant close to retirement. He's getting on the wrong side of the law. He ends up helping out, his platoon, get them, ready made, and basically it culminates in the U.S.'s invasion of Grenada. So it's
behind enemy lines, Thin Red Line, Full Metal Jacket, Force 10 over Navarro. There's so many classics when it comes to war. Like we could do probably a 3-hour special where we just talk about war movies. Easy. Kieran, are you all right, man? You sound like you look like you're suffering.
I'm having a mental explosion at the idea that we could have a consensus that Jason 6 was the best fucking movie that came out this year. Like
it's a good one.
But even the best Jason movie is not as good as half of these movies. At least. And I don't mean half of the movies we talked about. I mean half of the movies released this year.
I tried to put a Friday movie
including
on
the
list, but I couldn't
pornos.
do it.
Not as good as half of them.
Jade says, how dare you not have April Fool's Day on your lists? You're all fired.
I don't even know what April Fool's Day is.
Oh,
Yeah. It's good.
Oh, April Fool's Day is really good.
Y'all have talked
Who's
about
in
it
April
before,
Fool's
but I
Day?
have yet to see it, I think.
Fuck, what's his name? Is it the guy from Back to the Future that's in April Fool's Day?
That's not helpful.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up.
Well, I can tell you the title sounds better than Jason 6, so I rank it higher.
Damn.
Never seen it, don't know what it is, but
My man is
Uh,
Yeah, I know
Jason
none of
6.
these names, so no, not nobody Back to the Future.
No, actually, I'm putting down the Jason movies, but really, I'm actually just surprised. I'm not really angry.
I mean, I don't
Anyways.
like most of them. There's like 3 that I like, and one of them's a remake. So
We're currently on 1986, right?
yes.
And the movie, the movie Labyrinth was made in 1986, right?
I don't know.
I don't know what that
You
is.
tell me.
The movie Labyrinth is way better than any of the other movies made in 1986. It's so good. I don't know why. I don't know how this didn't get mentioned by anyone else. I mean, we still got Johnny, but
Speaking
I
of
know he's
movies
a Jason fan, so
that don't get the attention they deserve, I'm gonna sort of take a break from the list here for a second and say Dune on a fairly limited international release is destroying the box office. So that movie that people thought was going to bomb, and it still could have, it doesn't perform good over here, opened at almost 40 million without several international markets, China being one of them. That's impressive. That's impressive as fuck.
It is.
I've always thought that Dune is going to be good. I just thought Dune was going to do terrible financially. And I would like to be wrong about that. So shout out to Dune for a good start. Hope it keeps up.
So let me get this straight.
Oh God.
Here we
I
go.
bitch
Hang
about
on.
this 1986 thing, and I talk about how you guys smeared it by putting your fucking Jason movie up above Labyrinth. And then while I'm talking about the movie, you cut me off to talk about your fucking Dune movie you've been pushing on us.
Sounds about right.
Man, you sound a lot like somebody else at the moment. Geez, I didn't think you guys would agree on anything. I thought you would be all for Dune. Thought you and Terrence hated one another.
I'm upset that you guys are spitting all over Labyrinth.
I've legitimately never seen it.
Me
Oh my God, it's a classic.
Is that like a Mickey Mouse movie? I don't know. What's the one? No, that's Fantasia.
Labyrinth,
Sean, you're an ass,
Labyrinth
bro.
is a movie. Fuck!
You know, the problem is I don't actually know if he's being serious when he says he has no idea what it is. Like, it's plausibly believable enough that I just don't know. But you broke Kieran. I mean, oh God, he's throwing things.
Oh man. Somebody get this fucking guy off the stream. Terrence would be better than him at this point.
This is fun.
Nice flag though. Nice flag. I can get behind that.
Get the Rick and Morty throw.
I'm being serious. I've legitimately never seen the movie. What's it about?
the movie with David Bowie?
David Bowie, the late David Bowie. I don't know if he gets enough credit for how good of an actor he was.
It's
But
got
It's got what?
it's
I
got
already said
all like
Bowie.
Frank Oz puppets in it, and it's got like it's fucking.
It's a Jim Henson movie, which is surprising, but it is a really good movie.
I'm gonna say we're not talking about that Tim Curry, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. What year did
No.
that come? That's a 70s movie.
That's a 70s
right?
movie. Yeah.
70s movie. That movie's fucked, but it's entertaining.
Okay.
If you guys disappoint me in 1987, I'm leaving.
I don't think
Oh.
I will, but they might.
I
I
don't
will-
know if
I
anybody
will.
else is going to have my movie in 1987. So
I don't think so either.
I
87 was tough though. Honestly.
Johnny, we're on you, man.
87 was easy for me, but we're still on 86. I almost picked Platoon, but my favorite movie. Come on, you can call me Abe Froman, Sausage King.
I
of
just
Chicago.
realized I haven't been looking at the chat for a while. I'm a
Ferris
Ferris
Bueller's.
Sean.
What is it, Johnny? What'd you pick?
Ferris Bueller. I mean,
Ah,
it's just such a
nice.
great movie. There's so much. It's so quotable. Like, I mean,
It is.
literally, how many people, when somebody doesn't answer, doesn't just start doing the Bueller,
Bueller.
Bueller,
Bueller.
Bueller?
Bueller.
Like, I mean, come on. That shtick is amazing. I mean, Deadpool parodied that movie. It's so good.
Yes.
RoboCop, says Dean Renner. Predator, says Joey. Full Metal Jacket, says The Mandalorian. Dream Warriors 87 for Alex Roof. We're getting started on our 87s, I suppose. So, Mike, why don't you give yours, man?
Time to disappoint Kieran. I'm gonna go with.
How long does it take to Kieran to just fucking disappear off the stream?
I'm gonna go with Dream Warriors. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Dream Warriors. It's my favorite sequel to the Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, it reminds me a lot of the Friday franchise. Not a lot of movies after the first one were really good. There were only a few that I really enjoyed. But like I said, this was tough for me. I was really going back and forth with Dream Warriors and Lethal Weapon. I absolutely love Lethal Weapon. I thought that was a great film. Adventures in Babysitting, The Lost Boys, a lot of great picks for 87, but I'm gonna go with Dream Warriors and I'm gonna shut up before Kieran has a fucking mental
Wait,
breakdown.
list those movies off again.
87.
Yeah.
Dream Warriors. I think I said Lethal Weapon. I think that's an 87.
Adventures in Babysitting. That's just fucking.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
And then The Lost Boys, I think, was an 80. Was it? I think The Lost Boys was an 87. Or 80. I'll go with 87.
I hope the 76ers never fucking win another game. Good for you.
So it's not like those movies are shit. They're good movies.
Hey, I'm just saying I'm a Sixers fan too. Don't put that on me. Um,
Shots fired.
Was there a movie on that list that you really just did not like? I'm just
There's
curious.
2 movies that I really like that you didn't even list.
Oh damn! Sorry. Go ahead, Sean. Damn.
my not number. So used to the other lists. My movie for 1987 is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That movie's fucking hilarious.
That's a good one.
That movie. If you're down in the gutter, watch that fucking movie. Go get high, pour a couple of drinks, watch that movie. Open a bag of Lay's chips, and then when you're done the Lay's chips, go grab some Cool Ranch. And when you're done the Cool Ranch, go back out. Okay, you get the point. I love that movie. It's a fun movie.
If you get through more than 2 bags of chips during the duration of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, you need to just stop. Just
Whoa,
stop
hang
what you're
on.
doing.
Mister, I ate a whole fucking pizza.
Over the course of like 3 hours.
Not even.
Wow.
Not even.
Wow.
You had that
John
sucker
Player.
done in 45 minutes, I think.
My God. You weren't even high, although you were probably getting a lot of secondhand Carl.
I was definitely suffering from secondhand Carl.
Carl's fucking great.
I think Carl was oozing like fumes on that. Like he had like pheromone weed going on.
Oh
It was like an
man.
exhaust pipe just
I'm sure he will this
straight into the
weekend.
atmosphere.
What do you got at 87, Tommy B? You were shaking your head. What were you shaking your head at, man? Huh?
It caught me off guard because I didn't know that was the year that film was released. So I'm gonna be for real. I just saw that within the past few years. During a holiday gathering. At least as far back as I can remember, I probably saw it, when I was a kid or something at some point. It was probably on TV at some point. And I fucking love that film. So I'm conflicted. At the same time, I've seen Full Metal Jacket many, many, many times. And there's a reason it's celebrated as one of the best military/war movies out there. That's where R. Lee Ermey got his fame. The Marine Corps gave him a promotion after he was already long out for that movie. I mean, he ended up getting, even bigger of an acting career, so on and so forth. So, yep, Full Metal.
I have to think that this must be the hardest year. This must be the best year because all the movies that were mentioned were actually pretty good. And still yet nobody mentioned The Princess Bride or RoboCop.
Well, obviously my movies are shit.
Yeah, they were kind of shit.
And someone else had RoboCop in the chat. I think it might have been Dean Renner.
Well, as much as this is a really hard one for me, probably the hardest. But I'm going to say The Princess Bride, and I'm going to get all sappy here for a minute and tell you that is the very first movie that I watched with my wife. So that's why it's going to get it. The Princess Bride, phenomenal movie, amazing. It's rewatchable. Could probably watch it, at least once a year. It's amazing. I think it's a fantastic movie. RoboCop would have gotten this probably when I was a kid, and I just wanted to see people get torn to bits all the time. But
God, I need to rewatch that. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
RoboCop or Princess Bride?
RoboCop. I mean, I was a kid.
Man, RoboCop is fucking ridiculous.
I just remember being obsessed, so I have to rewatch that.
It's
on a stream.
Not only is it amazing by all the crazy people getting their arms blown off and all this crazy shit and crazy drug war with a cyborg cop, but there's also a bunch of really crazy kind of predictions about how the future is going to be in RoboCop, and it parodies a lot of things about Western culture and things like that. Honestly, it's a masterpiece in my mind when you go back and take a look at some of the little Easter eggs and things that are in there that are just really fantastic. But The Princess Bride for me.
This was the hardest year for me. There were so many great choices, but I find myself I wrote out a list of all the movies for all the years, and I wrote it down. There was 6 or 7 for this year. And one thought just kept coming to my mind. I cannot choose the wine in front of me. And that beheld my answer. The Princess Bride. It's such an amazing film. It's, like we said, it's eminently quotable. I mean, Andre the Giant pulls in a performance that is just phenomenal, considering the things we learned about him later. Knowing he was in constant pain and just so much of the backstory of that just makes it so much more amazing. Hearing the stories about him, despite being in pain, going on set on days he didn't even need to be there just because he found out Ben Savage was a wrestling fan. There's so much backstory to that film that just makes it so much better. And the story that it tells is just, it's
iconic.
Yeah. I mean, The Princess Bride, it's one of the, honestly, it's probably one of the best love stories on film.
Wow.
Mike?
So we are on
88.
Year I was born.
I'm going to go with Halloween 4. One of my favorites as well. One of my favorite horror movies as well. It's one of my favorite sequels in the Halloween franchise. So it's one of those films, just like Halloween 2, that I rewatch every year. And it's the one that they play on AMC nonstop every year. So for as many times as I've seen the movie, and not to be annoyed by it or have any really major complaints outside of the mask. I'm gonna go with Halloween 4. I mean, it's hands down my favorite. It's the one I watched the most from that year, so I'm gonna go with that.
All right, hold on. Halloween 4. Man, by the way, some guy in the comment section is giving me a bunch of shit about thinking that Halloween 4 is the best Halloween movie and that it's my favorite Halloween movie. And he's like, here's a tip for you, bud. Halloween 4 is shit. I would have thought that it would have been Terrence, but it wasn't. He didn't have piece of shit in it. He just had shit. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, pretty sure it's subjective, being my favorite and all. But yeah, Halloween 4, 1988. I think it's the best paced Halloween film. I fucking love it. Good shit. Good shit. Tommy B?
Yeah, H4, definitely. It's not my favorite Halloween film. It's, in the top half, at least. Pretty sure it came in at 4 the last time we did a ranking. But, it's undeniable. It's a freaking good film.
Keyron?
I'm going to go with a not at all a masterpiece movie. Not anywhere near it, but if we're talking about my favorite movie...
Sorry, I actually totally agree with this.
Oh, I can't fault you. H4 is my favorite Halloween movie. So, but it's not there. It's my favorite 1988 movie is Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Because I'm a ridiculous Jean-Claude Van Damme fan for my entire life.
What's it about?
It's about Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting people in a tournament, and that's it. It's not a masterpiece in any way. It doesn't have good acting in it. But I watched it about 500 times as a kid, so it would be silly of me not to put it as number 1.
I think the only Jean-Claude Van Damme film that I really ever used to love was The Universal Soldier.
That's a pretty awesome movie.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Dolph Lundgren has that necklace of ears, and he's like, I didn't hear you. With a necklace made of ears. But anyways, Bloodsport's awesome. Bloodsport's the one where it goes blind and fucking it has to fight the guy while he's blind.
And then the Expendables?
He is.
I'm looking at all
He's in Expendables films. Number 2.
I'm looking at these films that Google's saying he was in, and I'm like, I don't know if I've seen any of these friggin' films before.
Well, you're too young.
I mean, we also can't forget about that 90s classic he did, Street Fighter.
I was going to say, my favorite Jean-Claude is definitely Street Fighter, because it's just so awful that it's good.
I was going to say, it's fucking horrendous.
Apparently, he was notoriously bad on the set on that movie. He was just fucking, coming in and being like, I'm fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme, what are we doing today? And they're like, oh, we're going to do this. Fine, we'll do it one take, then I'm leaving. Yeah,
it sucks he screwed it up so bad when Raul Julia, who, despite being, almost on his deathbed, is hammering out an amazing performance. And here's Jean-Claude just camping it up, stinking up the film, and killing what otherwise had potential to be a good movie. And
they got a guy with a French accent to be the amazing American war hero. It was dumb anyways.
I mean, he was solely cast because he had the martial arts background to stand with it, and he could do the stunts and sticks. And I mean, they picked the star of the movie as a character who was Z tier on the fighter select screen. Seriously, who picked Guile ever?
Yeah, a lot of people aren't a big fan of Guile, but he has always been part of the lore in a big way.
He has, but he's one of the worst. Nobody.
Yeah, everyone likes fucking Ryu. Ryu was the main character for most people. So
Ken Ryu. I mean, I'd take
Chun-Li.
Honda. I'd take E Honda and Chun-Li over Guile any day. I mean, God. All right, enough about that. And I didn't even mention Zangief. Frank would be upset I didn't mention the wrestler in the crew.
Zangief was fucking awesome in that movie.
Zangief was awesome. It's if I recasted that today, Rusev, Miro, definitely Zangief.
Yeah,
100%.
that would be awesome.
But okay, back to me. Mine was hard this year. It was either the greatest Christmas film ever made, or
Sorry, hang on. Before
Excuse me?
I want to.
Hold on. What the? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know what Mike's talking about, so we'll get to him in a second. But I can't believe we just spent 5 minutes on a show, any of our shows, talking about the Street Fighter movie.
I'm not.
Let's do a watch along Street Fighter movie. Woo!
I'm gonna have to be really fucking high and drunk for that. Like I'll be a train wreck if we do a stream of that.
And yet you fucking wanted me to watch that piece of shit friggin' Halloween Resurrection.
I mean, we have this.
I'll watch Street Fighter 10 times in a row before I watch Resurrection.
Oh, you're hurting me, man. It hurts to hear such things.
I'd watch it 10 times in a row. The whole day I'd watch Street Fighter before I would willingly watch Resurrection.
What did Resurrection do to hurt you so badly?
What didn't it do? It was a movie. It did. It made me watch the movie.
Show us on the doll where this film touched you.
It said Halloween in the title, so I watched it for that reason. And then I got subjected to it, and that's what happened.
I've seen worse.
This one, we have this one coming soon.
Oh my god!
Who's doing that? Oh, drinking game. I'll come.
I already told you I'm not doing that.
I see drinking.
I think someone else agreed to do that one.
Every time I see Michael's bare face, I'm taking a shot.
We'll just tell Kieran we're doing a stream to a different one, and then all of a sudden Zombie's second movie comes on.
Oh, I totally forgot. Way earlier when we were talking about the trailer, Michael climbing up on top of the car was also a thing that I really popped for. Because that happened.
There's a reason I wasn't on for that segment.
Okay.
Man, so Michael is on top of a car at some point, Johnny. Did that ruin the movie for you?
Just to keep the chat from going off and going backwards into the trailer.
Mike, you were about to lose it on Johnny over something. What was that?
I'll let him finish his asinine statement first.
Oh,
asinine statement?
All right, hang on. Let's get some close-ups for this. I feel like we're...
All right, I said it came down to two for my choice here. It was either one of the greatest Christmas films ever made.
Bullshit. But go ahead.
Or a film that was ahead of its time in combining live action and animation. I chose that. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is my favorite film of 1988. Combines a great performance from Bob Hoskins with Roger Rabbit, which is amazing. Features both Disney and WB characters. I mean, come on. You get, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck arguing at each other. Come on. How do you not love that? Such great shit and such great performances. And who can say anything bad about Christopher Lloyd? I mean, come on. His performance was
Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck are on the same show.
What? I said Daffy and Donald.
Oh, no. I think you said Bugs and Daffy, or Bugs and yeah.
I said Bugs, and then I said Daffy and Donald because I was going to go Bugs.
Okay.
And Mickey, but I don't think Bugs and Mickey were ever actually on the screen at the same time.
Never mind. You are right, though. That part is amazing. The dueling pianos.
Mike,
I think Mike takes offense to me calling Die Hard a Christmas movie.
Oh,
good one.
Why is his statement asinine?
Because A Christmas Story is not even a top 5 Christmas movie. So how the hell can it be the best Christmas movie ever made?
What does A Christmas Story have to do with this? I'm talking Die Hard.
He said
buddy.
Die Hard.
Okay, I thought you were going Christmas Story. My bad. We're good. My bad.
A Christmas Story is one of the better Christmas movies. I mean,
it's a better one, but
I'd say it's like top 3. But
I just think it's overrated to be played every day, all day long on Christmas Day.
It has definitely been overplayed because of TBS airing it like every day for 3 days.
I'm not saying it's like a total trash movie. Maybe that's the reason why, is because my parents would play it nonstop. Maybe that's why. But I can easily name off like 3 or 4 better.
I don't like that movie at all. I don't like A Christmas Story at all. I never watch it.
I love it.
My bad, Johnny. I didn't mean to come at you
I'll
like
watch
that.
it like once a year.
So then, wait, there's no beef with you and Johnny?
No,
Apparently
no,
not. He thought I was talking.
sorry.
It was definitely not 88. Right? It was early 80s.
No, but I was going through. I remember going through my list earlier today, and I saw a Christmas Story pop up in one of the years, and I couldn't remember which one it was.
I think that was like 83 or 82. It was early 80s.
Okay, my bad.
All right. Well, we're in our final year.
Did you change the order here?
1989.
I'm beside Tommy all of a sudden. No, I'm beside Tommy. I'm beside Kieran.
Sorry. There we go. 1989, Mike. Actually, you know what? We'll go in reverse order this time around.
Okay.
Johnny, finish us off, man.
Okay. I said 87 was the hardest year, but this one was probably just as hard, if not harder. The 3 movies come out, and any one of them could be a pick on anyone's list, and I would not be upset. Batman and Field of Dreams were my runners-up, but my favorite is the one that led to the Disney Renaissance of the early to mid-90s. It's The Little Mermaid. I was a year old. I was a kid when this came out. It led to the renaissance of Disney films. I love a musical. I really do. Little Mermaid is one of the better ones. It's my favorite of that year.
I don't think Little Mermaid's a bad pick. I like Little Mermaid quite a bit. I always like that's my Disney era is Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast,
Lion King,
probably
Aladdin.
Lion King, Aladdin. Yeah,
Up through Mulan, I think it's the greatest era of Disney since the golden age. I mean, since the 60s.
I agree with that part. I don't agree with The Little Mermaid, but
well, I think it's Batman because it's Batman.
all right, that needs to be like a quote put somewhere.
I've been playing with a Batman toy this entire fucking show.
Why does that matter? That's an animated series Batman. That's not a.
I could find an 89 Batman for you if you like, Johnny.
Well, it just would have made it more funny if it was an actual 89 Batman toy.
Well, what do you know about being funny? Anyways, Batman 89 is a fantastic movie. I always think it's funny that, people seem to forget about the Nicholson Joker now. Like, the debate is always like, well, there is no debate. Everyone thinks it's Heath Ledger, and everyone, he did a great job. There's no denying that, but like, give some love to the Jack Nicholson Joker. Was fucking hilarious, amazing. And I always think the most amazing part about Batman 89 is how did that movie get made? Like, how did they come up with like, okay, we're going to do a Batman movie. Like, we haven't had a lot of successful comic book movies, but we're going to do a Batman movie and Tim Burton is going to direct it. Like, it totally changed who Batman was.
I'm just more shocked that Tim Burton made a movie that didn't feature Johnny Depp or Winona Ryder.
Oh my God,
Whoa,
Johnny
whoa.
Depp Batman, that would have fucking ruined it.
I like Winona.
I got no beef with them. I'm just saying that I'm surprised Tim Burton made a movie that didn't feature
Yeah.
either of them.
Or
agree.
what's her name? Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At that point,
she's
it was
in the-
Winona was her girl, was his
But-
girl.
I totally get the Joker thing, and Jack was amazing. He's number 3 for me.
I didn't like the backstory on that Joker. It just didn't jive with me.
But
like Jack Napier, that whole thing. Yeah. Oh man, I like the scene where Joker comes in and shoots Jack Palance and fucking dances around and
Oh, the dance
Yeah,
in the
that's-
museum where he's painting all the stuff. I
Oh,
love
the
that.
painting.
yeah,
That's
fucking so many good lines. The whole dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yes.
And then and it's such a badass line, and then they're like, "Well, why is that?" And he's like, "I don't know. I just say it because it's fun." Like he's just
Without the backstory, that probably would have been the most authentic Joker comic book to screen for the time period.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's amazing. It's hard. It wasn't a hard pick at all for me. In fact, I have my list here, and I have kind of like some backup options, and this is one of the years that has 0 backup options. It's Batman 89. Don't worry about it. Put it away.
Dang.
Which
Tommy Bizzle.
So I had a bit of a hard time finding a movie on this list or this year that I felt pretty strongly about. I mean, yeah, we could say The Little Mermaid. I probably watch more animation than anyone else involved in Phantom Empire. but it wasn't making it on this list for me. So up until about, I guess at this point, 10 minutes ago, I had Uncle Buck on the list.
Yes, good mention.
But it got kicked off.
Okay.
Clearly for Halloween 5, Tommy's favorite Halloween movie.
No. Actually, that was one of the reasons why, again, I said there are few films on this list I feel very positively, strongly about. Glory. You ever see Glory?
Yes, that is on my list.
It's one of the... I don't know if I want to jump to saying one of the best war movies of all time. It may be for some people, but it's one of the best, movies of all time about the American Civil War. You know, it tells the story of, I think it's regiment, the first, African-American regiment, and it's powerful. I've seen it many times over the years. It was one of those films they showed you in school. And
it is, yes.
I've seen it outside of school once or twice too.
Denzel did absolutely phenomenal in that role.
Absolutely. So that takes the place from Uncle Buck. But again, Uncle Buck, another good film.
For me, it's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's Harrison Ford, Sean Connery. Fucking love that movie. It's the best indie movie for me. So yeah, there's a lot of good movies from 1989 though. Like animated classic one that pulls at the heartstrings. All Dogs Go to Heaven. It's a great movie. But yeah, what do you got, Mike? Or is it what Tommy just said?
Well, Tommy, this was a tough year for me because Uncle Buck was on my list, Glory was on my list, Field of Dreams was on my list. Of course, Back to the Future 2 was on my list. But when I came down to it, I was going back and forth with Back to the Future 2 and Batman, and got to go with the classic.
Right classic VHS case.
Classic VHS. I actually got this off eBay probably about 2 weeks ago. Actually in really, really good condition for about $15. But I have to go with that. It's held up as my favorite Batman movie of all time until The Dark Knight came along. So it's sitting second on my list as far as favorite Batman movies ever made. I remember seeing this as a kid, and I don't know. I just loved everything about it. I love the darkness of the film. I love, the way that the city was set up. I mean, I just loved everything about it. So I love Jack. Love Keaton. Keaton's my favorite Batman outside of Christian Bale. So that's going to be number one on my list for 1989.
That's another crazy thing about that movie is like, I mean, I was 4 when it came out, so I didn't know about the fanfare, but like when they announced like, hey, Michael Keaton's going to be Batman, people were like, what the fuck? Like
he was considered a pretty boy. Yeah.
Like that guy's like a comedian or something. Like he's in lots of funny movies other than that. He's not an action hero.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know too much about Keaton's work. I know a little bit, but for me,
his earlier stuff around that time is a lot of comedy.
Yeah. Well, they made a good decision in doing that, and there's been a lot of what the fucks as far as who plays Batman in the past few years or few franchises or however you want to look at it, and they've hit on one, and hopefully they'll hit on another one coming up. I think they will. So.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our 1980s list. It was a lot of fun to put this list together. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but just maybe briefly we'll go around the table here and just give your thoughts on doing the 80s list and how it was, guys. And if you're looking forward to doing 90s list at the beginning of November.
Sure, I'd love for you guys to shit all over my childhood with your shit movies.
So for me, 90s is going to be. I don't know which order we're in, so I'm just going. But 90s will be tough for me because that's when you really get heavily into the Disney animated movies that I love growing up as a kid, and then all of the other movies, of course, that I love. So I think 90s would be very, very difficult. And I don't think that we would all have the same movies like we did in a lot of the years in this one. So, but the list was easier than I thought it was. I mean, when you have the greatest film of all time ever created in 1985, then I mean it's just simple. So,
all right, guys, that is I think that's gonna do it for the episode. If you fellas want to give your thoughts on the outros in terms of what the list was like and what you're looking forward to for the 90s, do so as you give your socials. We'll just go in order. Mike started. So Tommy B, thoughts on the list and where can everybody find you at?
Yeah, so I'm a 90s baby. So this is going to be
Me
pretty
too.
interesting. Yeah. You can find me on, all of our Facebook places, Fandom Empire Den, Halloween, Fandom, so on and so forth. Catch me on Twitter and Instagram at TommyB1650.
Kieran, what was it like for you, man? You look forward to 90s, and where can everybody find you in the Rick and Morty fan show next?
I feel like 90s will be hard because there'll be more volume of movies made in the 90s that I feel like instead of it being a hard choice between 2 or 3 movies, it's going to be fucking hard choice between 5 to 7 movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think in the same vein as the 80s, I'll have a lot of this it will already be well thought out for me. Like I'll already be like, you know what? I've had this debate before. I remember, like, so I'll go with what I said. I've thought about it already. So I was born in 85. So this is the movies that came out from when I was 5 to 15. So these are movies I remember going to the theater for, right? And that's going to be really hard. As to where you can reach me on, you can find me at Gogan Kieran on Twitter. You can find me by my name on Facebook. You can find me in the Fandom Empire Den. And apparently you can find me agreeing with Johnny's list more than anyone else's, you fucking pieces of... You know what? Whatever. Just go to Johnny.
It felt weird.
You all right, Mike? I heard you say something during that.
Oh no, I'm good. I saw I saw you put up a comment that says Scream in '96, and I do like Scream, so I went and looked at the movies in '96, and holy shit, it's just gonna be '90s is just gonna be fun.
I made the mistake of looking ahead and got to like 92, 93, and I'm like, there's like 7 movies that year. I can do a top 10 from every year of the decade almost. Like, you want me to choose just one? I'm gonna need like a month and a half to rewatch all the movies that are going to be on my initial list.
I feel like the movie industry boomed in the 90s, and there's probably a lot of, probably just sheer volume of movies.
If there's ever a decade where I don't think there's a single year of that decade will have a consensus. I don't think there's a single year of that decade where we'll have more than 2 picks the same. I think if we get a 3, I mean, there's a few that have a chance that could do it, but no more than like 1 or 2. I don't think it's going to be a ridiculous decade. You can find me Facebook, Twitter, Facebook Inside Handoff, Twitter at Handoff Inside for our football podcast, where we'll of course be recording our next episode tomorrow night at some point, depending on when Zach finishes work.
You can check us out on Twitter at Fandom Empire Now, on Facebook at the Fandom Empire Den. You can also check out our group Halloween Fandom, run by our boy Dean Renner. He does a great job over there. Go check it out, sign up, bunch of fun. You can also support the channel on Patreon. It's our #1 place to go for extra content. It has stuff like Lampkin Lane, Inside Fandom, Supernatural Revisited, Kieran Presents, and more. I think that's going to do it. Thursday's Fandom Empire Now, unless Mike changes his mind, and maybe we'll come up with a fun, a different list of our own for that night. So, anyways, take it easy. Kieran didn't kill us all. I thought it might happen during that episode. And don't forget, the boogeyman, he's coming.
Are we just going to hang out here or what?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hi guys, this is Terrence, Fandom Empire, and you're watching Fandom Empire Live, which Sean didn't invite me to, so it's probably going to be a piece of shit!